Hello trainers, Ganeto here, and today we're diving together into Master Premier with my best team showcase. We're gonna analyze together 5 teams in total, and I think that you're gonna find this video extremely enjoyable because we're gonna see the strongest core breakers for those teams and of course the strongest assets, so stay tuned till the end if you want to learn the strategies, the tips and the tricks behind each team so that you can have not only clear understanding of the teams but also of the meta of Master Premier. So now without any further ado, let's dive into Team Showcase number 1. Dragonite Double Steel to start of the video, looking pretty solid, and Dragonite up on the lead is one of the best generalists in the game. I really like it on the Master Premier because it can absolutely be devastating against anything, even against other Dragon types, while its amazing moveset can really help it even against Ice types. Its main weakness obviously is gonna be the Fairy type, so here is where the backline can come into play. Both Metagross and Excadrill can handle the Fairy types and the Ice types, while they have play against any other Pokemon in the meta, so we're looking at 3 pretty good generalists, and to be honest, Excadrill is the glassiest of them all, but still you can go ahead and tank some moves with your Dragonite, with your Metagross, even draw out something like a Machamp that your opponent might have at the back or a Conkeldurr, so that your Excadrill can have a safer environment in closing any battle at all. I really like this team. It has a lot of versatility in its play, and of course you can adapt to a lot of different situations. The core breaker that I have decided to pick here is gonna be the Gyarados, but it is gonna be a soft core breaker. Even against Metagross, which has a very dominating matchup, well, Gyarados is still gonna struggle on the 2 shield scenario, so it has to keep those shields up if they want to have any chance at all, especially if they have Dragon Breath. So with Dragon Breath it can still threat the Dragonite, but still it's a pretty cool and close matchup. Against the Excadrill, it's all up to the Aqua Tail if it can be landed, otherwise Excadrill can win on the long term of the battle. So we're looking at a pretty cool core breaker, but still kinda soft for the meta, so this team is always gonna perform pretty good even with Gyarados around, and I really recommend to you trainers. Heading into the next one, and we are already facing our core breaker here, which is pretty bad, so Garchomp up on the lead, at the back the Togekiss and a Mamoswine as a safe switch of our own. So the core breaker is gonna be another Mamoswine because its Ice typing is gonna help a lot against our Dragon typing up in front. It has a very good matchup against Togekiss. Obviously just a simple Avalanche can destroy down the Togekiss, and our only answer to that Pokemon is gonna be the Mirror, but you are gonna see that we can still manage to overcome this obstacle with this line because it is super strong, and even a Garchomp, despite the fact that it takes double super effective damage from those Ice types, it can still be devastating with its amazing charge attacks. The Outrage and the Earth Power are still gonna be pretty cool for the meta. If you want to run something like a Sandtomb, feel free to do so, but I recommend to run a Dragon Tail option up in front because after the first debuff or the second, those Dragon Tails are still gonna chunk up a lot of HP out of your opponent, which is pretty handy. This team works pretty nicely. I really like it even against its severe counters because of its ability to nuke down the enemy. Only the Charmer is gonna rely a lot on its fast attack, so that's why I have it as a closer here. If you can still get to the end game with a shield advantage, this can be a much better option for you. You can always use your Mamoswine to draw out the Metagross or the Excadrill your opponent has, so that your Togekiss can work much better on the closing scenario, and that's gonna be pretty awesome. You're gonna have a lot of good games with this line. I really like Garchomp on the lead, able to nuke down the enemy on the switch. That moveset that Mamoswine might have can definitely cover a lot of things in the meta, and I'd recommend to run High Horsepower over Bulldoze because I just didn't switch my moveset yet, so that's why I have Bulldoze. High Horsepower is gonna be the better second charge attack because Avalanche is gonna be your main way to go. So that's all about this team, and now let's move forward into the next one. Popular teams are always a huge threat on the Master Premier. Here is one team that I think is gonna help you a lot. If you didn't know already, well, Triple Flying can go toe to toe against anything in the meta, and you are not worried about anything at all. You can use your Gyarados up on the lead, your Dragon at the back, your Togekiss as a closer, or whatever else individual switch up you want to use, because even a Dragonite up on the lead can work with the safe switch on the face of the Gyarados. This this team is pretty solid. Just be sure that you have as your closer your Togekiss. I really like it a lot as a closer. We saw it before being super strong against the enemy, and here it makes no wonder as we're seeing it again, once again on this line. So Dragonite, that's a safe switch. I like it more than Gyarados because it can go in there, and if you can draw out something like a Mamoswine, you can still threat it out of existence with a whole superpower. Gyarados upon the lead can somehow surprise the enemy. If you want to run not the Dragon Breath option but instead the Waterfall, it will make a lot of sense because you already have a Dragon Breather in your team and you want to have something like a Waterfall to surprise those Mamoswines, those Steel types that you're gonna see, especially the Excadrill, able to farm it down completely with those Waterfalls. So we're looking at a pretty strong and all-around team. I recommend to you trainers, it is gonna be kinda risky against the Hisuian Avalanche and the regular one, but still you're gonna be able to counter those Pokemon down too, especially with a superpower, with the pressure from the charm, or even just stay into the battle with your Gyarados and start pressuring with those Waterfalls or even those Dragon Breaths, and in combination with a few Aqua Tails you can still take them out or just lose to a very soft loss so that you can finish them off with your backline, which is always pretty neat. So other than those two, the Avalanche line, you're gonna be just fine, and this team will work much better if you keep pressuring with your team. Now, if you're wondering what a team can be that has no core breakers at all, well, this one can be just for you. However, it is kinda glassy, so we're having the Machamp up on the lead, at the back the Gyarados and the Charizard in between. I have added in there as a core breaker the Luxray, but to be honest, I don't think we're gonna see a lot of Luxrays around on the Master Primer meta, so this team has no weakness at all other than itself. What do I mean by that? Well, this line is gonna be kinda glassy, so you're gonna take a lot of damage. You need more shields than usual most of the times. Both Charizard and Machamp cannot withstand the hits that easily, but still the damage outputs are crazy. I really like Gyarados as safe switch here because it can come in pretty clutch even against its worst nightmare, something like a Magnezone for example, and you can especially draw it out so that your Charizard might be in a better spot overall, because Blast Burn might be able to burn it down, but Wild Charge can definitely outspeed our Pokemon over here. Anyways, enough about Magnezone, we still got the Machamp to counter it down. This team has no weakness at all. I like it a lot. It can pressure a lot with its charge attacks. It can pressure a lot with its fast attacks. You can see that there is no major weakness for this line. Charizard as a closer, it will not disappoint. It will nuke down all those steel types, all those fairies, so you're gonna be in a very good spot overall, and you got the Dragon Claw especially for that Dragonite matchup. I really like up in front the Machamp with the standard moveset, but to be honest, something like a close combat can definitely surprise a whole Metagross out of existence, so stay tuned if you want to see more videos about Machamp. So if I were you, I definitely leave a subscribe to this channel so that you do not miss my video that I'm working on a close combat version of Machamp. So with that said, now let's move forward into the next one. Final team showcase, and we got the Gyarados upon the lead. Once again another Gyarados, I know, but it doesn't matter, this Pokemon is super strong and that's why we're seeing it a lot on this video. Having at the back the Ursaluna with Magnezone, and this line is super strong. This backline is gonna be able to be kinda electric. You got the Magnezone, obviously it's gonna be an electric type Pokemon with the nuke ability of Wild Charge or even Zap Cannon, but don't do that. Wild Charge is gonna be much better here, and that's a safe switch. We got the Ursaluna with Thunder Punch, which is gonna help a lot against the meta, and especially with high horsepower, its community day move, you're gonna be able to nuke down those unsuspected opponents with the steel types or the neutral damage against something like a Garchomp or a Machamp for example. As a core breaker here, I decided to add the Mamoswine because it can do a lot of work up in front with the avalanches, go toe to toe against Gyarados, but still you're not gonna be that much worried about the Gyarados rather than the backline of yours, because that ground typing is gonna help a lot against Magnezone. Of course, you can still go with a few mirror shots and still bring it to no HP, so it's all up to you for the end game. But as a safe switch, I really do not like this matchup with Ursaluna. We cannot outspeed it at all. It takes a little bit of time to get there with those tackles, and of course you're gonna see that the pure avalanche is gonna deal more than 70%, which is crazy. And yeah, other than Mamoswine though, you're gonna be just fine. This team works pretty pretty nicely, and even though we are not gonna have the best outcome here, still I believe that this team can work pretty good against anything on the Master Premier meta. Gyarados might need to run something like a Waterfall sometimes, so it's all up to you about the fast attack choice, but I think that Dragon Breath can still work pretty good, especially against something like a Dragonite for example. And that is gonna be a wrap, everyone. Thank you for watching, fellow trainers. Please consider liking the video if you enjoyed the content and subscribe if you are new to the channel. If you want to support me even more, joining as a member might be the way to do it. Click here for the next video that might be of interest to you. Till the next time, take care, trainers!